Hello, everybody. Welcome back to True Self. I'm happy you guys are here. So, today we'll be talking about the final pillar in the Pillar of Self series, and that is desire and persistence. So far, we have been discussing in our previous episodes forgiveness. We talked about gratitude, self love, self concept, and in our last episode, we talked about understanding the law and having faith in the law. So now we are going to talk about um, desires, what they are, how to accept them, to understand them, and to eventually realize our desires. So let's start with what a desire is. So a desire is nothing but a gift from God. You have to see desires like your higher self giving you a gift. So whenever you have a desire for something, for like money or a new job or a relationship or a new car or whatever it is, your it's like your higher self is giving you a gift. And the only job you have is to accept that gift. So whenever a desire comes to you, it's just your higher self telling you, look, there is a better version of you. It is available to you. It's always available to you. So I'm bringing this version of you into your awareness now. Embody the state, accept this gift, stay in that state, and then it will be yours. You do not question it, you do not see or ask how this is possible. That's not our job. Our job is only to accept this desire as ours. Desires are they are not something to feel guilty about. We have all been like taught, or in some point of our life, somebody might have told us that, you're not supposed to be so greedy. You can't um, desire so many things. You have to be happy with what you have. If you desire something, that's just you'll regret it. But a desire is not wrong. That's the first thing you have to realize. Desires are not wrong in themselves. They're not you being selfish. And there's nothing for you to feel guilty about. Desires are a natural part of the human experience. And whenever you have a desire, just accept the desire, accept it as a gift from your higher self, and then start embodying that state. In the end, whatever you desire, it's completely acceptable. You can accept it without any question. There is no strings attached to this desire. It's a gift. So, what is the desire really saying? Let's start with an example of money. Let's say you desire wealth or just being rich to be able to buy anything. So, when you have that desire, it's perfectly fine to have a desire where you just want like a certain amount of money. That's completely fine. And the only thing you need to do is then to just assume or embody the state of someone who already has that particular amount of money. How does that make you feel? Let's say you want €1,000, $1,000. You you embody that state, and how do you embody that state? You can do it by visualization. You can visualize somebody congratulating you for receiving €1,000 or dollars, or you can just feel happy that you received $1,000. Yeah, or you can just affirm something like, "Yeah, I received €1,000, $1,000." So, what it really means is that a desire is telling you, okay, you're probably in a state of not having money, and that's why you're desiring more money. So, desire is just hindering you to occupy the state of having something. So, if you're Yeah, it's just a guidance for you to kind of move out of a state of lack, a state where yeah, you don't have money, into a state where you have the 1,000 euros or whatever you desire. It's a hint for you. Your higher self is giving to you, saying, "Okay, you need to shift into this new state." So it's the same with confidence or love or abundance. It's inviting you to move out of a state of a lack in confidence. If you're lacking confidence, you want to be confident. You're probably in a state where you feel like you're not enough, where you feel like you're not seen or worthy. And when you desire confidence, what your higher self is telling you is that, look, you need to move out of the state where you see yourself as unworthy, where you see yourself as insufficient or something like that. So it's asking you to occupy the state of confidence because that version of you exists. And the same with love or any other desire you're having. So when the desire comes upon you, just ask yourself, who am I becoming, or who do I need to become to realize this desire? It's just an invitation for you to become or embody the state, embody the version of you who has the desire. So now, how do we realize our desires? How do we, actually get the thing we desire, to get the thing we most want? So, as mentioned before, whenever you get a desire, whenever a desire comes upon you, the only thing you need to do is accept it without any judgment and then start embodying that state. And you can do this embodiment by the different techniques. You can do SATs, the state akin to sleep. You can visualize, you can affirm. And all these techniques, what you do, are helping you to embody the state of your desire. And one thing you need to realize when you do these techniques is that you're not doing the techniques to get something. It's not like you do or you put this much effort into doing the techniques and then you'll be rewarded for your effort. The power behind creation is your true self, your I am, your consciousness, your awareness. It's not the 3D body that you are. It's not the effort you're putting. It's not like somebody out there is going to reward you because you did SATs for like a month, or you did affirmations 10,000 times, you repeated something 10,000 times. And just because you did that, nobody's going to reward you. There's nobody outside of you that can reward you. So, so you're not doing something to get something. You're not trying to force anything outside in the 3D by doing the techniques. You're not going to change someone or change any circumstance by doing these techniques. The only thing you need to do is to change your inner state of being. And that's the only goal of these techniques. The goal is to change your inner state. Who are you embodying? Again, we go back to that same question. What state are you occupying? And your only goal is to change your state. Change into the state or embody the state of the wish fulfilled. Embody the state where your desire is already yours. And and that's the only thing you need to actually do or monitor. Is my inner state changing? Am I occupying the state of somebody who has the desire? If not, you keep returning to that state by using the techniques. So the techniques themselves don't have any power. The only power is in your awareness in your consciousness. Who are you aware of being? Who are you conscious of being? And whoever you are conscious of being, your dominant state, that will be reflected outside of you. Nothing you have to do in the 3D to get your desires. You're only changing your inner state. So if you change into or embody the person who already has your desire, the 3D has to reflect that. And this is where persistence comes into. So whenever a new desire comes upon us, as we mentioned before, it's because our higher self is guiding us into a new state. It's asking us to embody this new state so that we can access this better, improved version of ourselves. So this is where we need to persist, and persistence just means you keep returning to your state, the state of the wish fulfilled. Persistence doesn't mean putting more effort. It's not more trying. It's not, it doesn't mean in a human way, we kind of think that the more effort we put into something, we'll be rewarded for that effort. But in how the law works, how the law of assumption, how the I am works is it's not rewarding you for your effort. It's not effort equal realized desire, but it's more faith in yourself, trusting yourself, and trusting or occupying your state more and more, and having faith in the law, in your higher self, that by doing this, by occupying the state, you will realize your desire. As long as you're embodying that state, it is inevitable that the desire is realized. It's we all know this part that we kind of need to persist, and we are very diligent in persisting with our techniques, doing our sats before we go to sleep, before we get out of bed, and doing affirmations all day long, which is all good. But yeah, when you do all this, you need to realize it's not because I'm doing sats 2-3 times a day. It's not because I'm affirming 10,000 times every day. It's not that's bringing the desire, but it's me who it's the awareness in me that's realizing the state that I'm occupying, and that state is being reflected outside. So why does persisting feel hard? Most of you must have gone through this when we need a bigger desire. There are no bigger desires or smaller desires. All desires are equally accessible and are equal in front of your higher self, in your consciousness, in your awareness. But let's say, for the sake of understanding, that maybe you have a desire, maybe you want to get filthy rich, you want to become a millionaire, and this desire might seem like improbable, or it might seem like something that really hard to get. And then all your fears come up, all the anxiety, the doubts, um, all your circumstances, all that shows up, and it's telling you, look, you never had $1 million. You're not even maybe getting $1,000 a week or $1,000 a month. How are you supposed to get $1 million? And all this self doubt, um, all these circumstances are in your face. And that's exactly when you need to keep persisting. And this is why the earlier pillars we mentioned are important. For some of the desires, it might be easy for us to kind of just ignore our doubts or fears. We can persist without too much difficulty. When our opposing thoughts come, we can maybe probably quickly kind of put them aside and say, no, that's not who I am. I am the person who is a millionaire or something like that. Um, yeah. So it might be easy for some of us, and for most of us who are practicing the law the first time, or when we're starting with the law, it's not really easy, especially when all the doubts come up. And are we doing the techniques right? Are we doing visualizing right? Um, yeah. So as soon as we don't see any results in our 3D, we kind of start doubting ourselves. We start doubting the techniques. This is where the other pillars matter. So whenever you're having fear, um, you can one thing I talk about is soothing your inner child when you're afraid, when you're anxious, when you're thinking like, can I get the money to pay rent or something like that? You can always, you have to always calm yourself, calm that inner child, tell him that, it's going to be okay. I'm here for you. Everything will be all right. You have to calm yourself, and you have to put your faith in your higher self. Um, that as long as you keep occupying embodying the state of somebody who has your desire, it will be realized because it's a gift for you. Whenever you feel like when you're feeling lack, and that's where gratitude comes into play. Whenever you're feeling unworthy, whenever you're feeling unloved, start practicing gratitude. Start acknowledging the small things in your life. Be thankful for the small things in your life, for the big things in your life. Just be thankful in general. This is for the SP people. Whenever you're angry at somebody, whenever you have a lot of resentment, hurt, frustration about somebody, some situation, forgive them. Forgive them and forgive yourself. And you have to let that old identity behind and then focus on the new version of yourself, and then focus or embody that new version of them and you. And the same for self-doubt. Whenever you're doubting your power to manifest, you're doubting yourself. Again, practice self-love. Always, this is a really a must to manifest. I'd say, I guess most people have some degree of self-love, but whenever you fall into states where you are quite anxious or hurting, feeling hopeless, frustrated, practice self-love. Just like you're soothing your inner child, you have to tell yourself that I am loved, I'm chosen, I'm understood, everything is taken care for me. And you have to soothe yourself, and you have to tell yourself that regardless of the circumstances, regardless of whatever is happening outside, I still love and accept myself. I still choose myself. I am loved. And the more you say this, you're shifting into a new state where you are loved, and your 3D will slowly start shifting because you're occupying a new state. And the same with the old stories. Whenever your old self is coming up, the memories and the past situations, circumstances, they're just uh, they're just reflections of your old self. Whenever these old stories come up, remind yourself of the new story. So if it's money, you tell yourself, I'm successful. I'm somebody who's worthy of money. I'm somebody who's worthy of being happy. I'm rich. I'm wealthy. I'm worthy of being rich. You tell yourself the new assumptions of yourself, the assumptions that the new version of yourself, the version of you who has a desire, will say. So meditate on that and practice the other pillars whenever Whenever you have doubts or feeling um, lack or feeling doubtful and worrying, and if you're doing things right, or whenever these things come up, start practicing the other pillars of self. And the same thing with checking for signs and checking to see if your desire is already here. So it's like we visualize a few days or we affirm a few days, and then we are immediately checking in the 3D, where is it? Why hasn't it shown up yet? Uh, am I doing this right? So whenever you are checking for signs, whenever you are looking outside of you for signs, looking outside of you for to see if it's working, you're not embodying the state of somebody who has it. You're going back into the state where you don't have the desire and you're looking outside for validation, for proof, when all this validation and proof must first be found inside of you. There's nothing outside of you that can validate it, actually. So only if your inner self, your internal state changes, can the 3D reflect that. The signs don't proceed, they follow. So if your inner state changes, then the resulting effect of it is the desire showing up in your 3D. So don't look for signs outside of you. Only check internally. Check inside. Is your state changing? Is the state you're embodying changing? Is it different from day to day? How do you feel day to day? Do you feel better? Are you more calm? Are you more relaxed when you think about your desire? Do you feel like you have it? Are you feeling neutral about it? If you don't feel anxiety around it, no fear, no doubt creeping up, or it's reducing day to day, then you're going in the right path. Your internal state is changing, and that's the only thing you need to check or measure. Yeah, so don't look outside for signs. Don't keep checking where is it. So a simple practice that you can do every day. So as I mentioned before, you can, whenever you start your day, start practicing gratefulness. Start being thankful for your day. Thankful for take a few minutes to be thankful for something. Yeah, even if it's just like to wake up, to have a bed to sleep on, to have food to eat, to have friends, have family, for something. Just be thankful. Start your day by being thankful. And then practice your techniques, keep practicing. And the more you practice changing a state, that state will start becoming natural and normal for you. And whenever you have some doubts, whenever you're feeling uncertain, whenever you're checking the 3D and you're becoming aware of it, that's okay. It's completely fine. Nothing is ruined. Just go back to go back to the person who embodies that state. Ask yourself, who am I being right now? And if I'm the person who has my desire, what will I think? How will I be? How will I feel like? And then return to that state. Um, and yeah, and if there are some like memories of the old story coming up, that's not leaving you alone, and that could happen when there are some resentment or some anger or hurt surrounding some topic. It could happen that the memories keep coming very often, frequently throughout the day. And then you can practice forgiveness and you can use the techniques I mentioned before, like Sedona method and EFT tapping or something like that too. Or your own method, like just meditate, forgive yourself, forgive the other person. And then once you've done that, return back to the state or the wish fulfilled by doing the techniques again, by visualizing, by affirming, by embodying that state. So, finally, to kind of wrap this all up, um, I'd like to again mention some quotes from Neville and the Bible. I think it's Yeah, I think Neville always has some really nice quotes. So one of his again famous quotes: "An assumption, though false, if persisted in, will harden into fact." So keep persisting in your desire. Don't ever give up. Don't look outside for when it's gonna show up. If it has shown up, if we are doing things right, none of those things matter. The only thing that matters is, am I occupying the right state? If I am, then it's inevitable that that 3D has to change. So the next one is from Mark chapter 11, verse 24. What things soever ye desire when you pray, believe that you receive them, and you shall receive them. So have faith in yourself. Have faith that your higher self has given you this desire, has given you this gift, and it's his pleasure to give you this gift. He wants you to succeed um, in occupying the new state. He wants you to be this better version of yourself, and this is already available for you, and he just wants you to accept it. So have faith when you're doing these techniques, and have faith in your higher self that as long as you embody this new state, this new this desire is going to be yours, or it is already yours. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Hebrew chapter 11, verse 1. So again, it's saying you cannot look outside. You're not looking outside for proof. You're not looking outside for validation. You're having faith means to believe in something before you see it, to occupy the state and know that by occupying that state, that's the only reality. That's the true reality. And your awareness, your imagination, whatever you see there, whatever you occupy there is the truth. And everything else is just a reflection. So have faith, know that your imagination is the only reality. Your I am is the operant power, and practice embodying the state. And the last one, let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. So, as long as we do not give up, we do not let our desires go, and as long as we keep occupying that state, we will be rewarded for that. Yeah, so be patient with yourself, be loving towards yourself, practice the techniques, practice occupying your desired state. Do not judge your desires when they come upon you. Just be aware that the desire has come upon you. Be aware that it's available to you, and be aware that by occupying this state, this new state, that desire is yours. Yeah, so that's the conclusion of the series. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching the video. Stay connected to your true self, and I will see you guys in the next video.